to Jakey Lee and Gross. I'm actually sweating already, man. It's so humid in this desert of California, man. I gotta tell you. CVT lesson from my buddy Jason. And about 3 months ago, we started working on the SWEATIN 2 series. We've done, what have we done? We've done Rhodes, now Jakey Lee, and man, what was the other one, Jason? It was last month's, I think. But anyways, I figured I was going to use this Sun Valley Super Shredder that I got sent to me, and because you got one too. And this one I leave double flat on the tuning, so it's D standard. I'm not saying Jakey Lee did that. I think he did in a couple songs, but we probably would be more on par if we were doing flat tuning. But this isn't, what I did in this is, it's 5 pages. I think there's 6 different examples. Jakey Lee's always been, you know, one of my first albums I ever got was Bark at the Moon, so big fan of Jakey Lee, you know, right off the get-go. I liked his style, and he wasn't like a Randy Rhoads copycat, but he, when he would do Randy stuff, he would pretty much play it the same, but add his own touch to it. Just really smart way of approaching soloing, you know. Really miss the Jake years of Ozzy, but you know, we got Badlands, another one of my favorites. So anyways, almost 3/4 of the way through this, I started thinking, you know, I went and started listening to some of Jake's solos and took kind of his solo ideas, not necessarily the note for note, just kind of did my own thing with them. You know, we can do part 2, part 3, part 4. There's just, I'm such a fan of Jake. So it's hard to touch on everything here. This one is G major, which, you know, it can also be E minor, because that's the relative minor to G major. But here's what we got going on. So the top string is D, right? And you're just, it's like standard tuning, but dropped a whole step. On the G string, we're going to go 17, 15, 17. And fingering, of course, you can, you know, adjust, use different fingers if you want. This is what made sense to me. We're alternate picking, going 17, 15, 17, up on 15B, down on 18B, pulling off to 15. So really, all that stuff you saw me do, it's broken into 4 mini groups in here. But if you get the concept of these 6 notes, you've got it for all of them, and I'm doing each one 4 times. So get used to that. I think I had it on the neck pickup when we started, but it doesn't matter. Now, to keep your playing clean, what I suggest, especially when you start playing a riff faster is when we transition strings, that's where we get a lot of noise sometimes in our transitioning. So where I'm placing my index finger on that 15B is on the lower part of the finger, so the top part mutes out underneath string 3 to keep it clean. So do that 4 times. Okay, now do the same thing, but our high note, instead of an 18 on the B, is now going to be a 20. Everything else is the same. Right? So we have... And then we're just going to take the high note and move it to 19 this time, but everything else is the same. So we're just changing the high melody note. So, you know, that's on the 3rd dot past the doubles. So we have, there's our high notes, everything else the same. And then I went back to the first one. It just felt like it needed to resolve. So really you've got 4 mini groupings of 6, 4 times per each one. The first and the 4th one are the same. Okay, so that's it for the first one. Like I said, I think there's 6 examples. This one is in B minor, and I kind of have my head in kind of the Badlands, you know, where Jake was doing more of the bluesy stuff. Here it is slow. Alright, so it's starting with the unison bend. One thing I thought that was really cool about Jake's style was his vibrato. He had kind of the heavy vibrato, but he almost took it up a little more, man, in the shakiness of it. What I'm doing here is a unison bend, 10B and 7E. So the index will handle the 7. We got the 10B, you can use your third. If you do, I would back it with the middle. And vibrato it. The B string, obviously. If you use your pinky, back it with a couple. Okay, picking's important on this. Up, down, 7E, 10, 7B, 9G bend. It's... We have 7B down, 7E up, 10B pull off to 7, 10G, 7B down up. Let's try it up to there. On the G string, go 10, 9, 7. Go ahead and set them all down. I would go pinky third first, but the only other option would be third, second, and first. We're going to pick the 10G, pull off the 9 and 7. So pick, pull, pull. 9D. And all these are downs now. So we have a lot of cool little riffs within riffs. Double stops, 9GB and 7GB. On the 7GB, use your thumb as an anchor and kind of bend that down a half step. Palm mute the rest of this, all downstrokes, 9, 7D. And then on the A string, 9, 8, 7, 8, 9. So we have... Jake had that choppy element to his playing, and I tried to grab some of that. And half the time that's because he's downstroking, you know, some palm mute. So okay, then pentarharmonic the rest of this. 7, 9 DA, 6, 7 DA, and 4, 5, 7 DAE. So we have vibrato that in note. Think chordal, you know. So, you know, put your own little attitude and feel to that, but you know, if we're thinking Jakey Lee, pentarharmonics, really cool vibrato, you know. Okay, so there's that one, that's number 2. Number 3, this is a E minor, basically a E minor riff. The one thing Jake did that sounded cool was his string skipping. He would take like a pentatonic riff. So let me show you what's happening. Once again, if you get the concept on the first 6 notes, you've got it for all of them, for the most part here. 12, 14, 15 G, we're alternate picking. And then upstroke 12E, down up 15, 4G. That's your concept, man. So once you get that, repeat it. You're gonna go 4 times. Try to get a good snap on that high E. You know, string skipping can be it's a different beast, man. Okay, from there, just take the exact same thing and move it a whole step up. That'll put you at 14, 16 on the G and 14 on the E. Okay, from there, moving on to page 3, 16, 17, 19 on the G and 15 on the E. And then back to 19, 17. So it gives you. All right, so there's our shapes. Right? I think I altered the ending though. I did. I wanted to change it up, is why. Do this ascending run, 16, 17, 19. It's a 3 pattern. On the G, alternate pick, 16, 17, 19. Same string, 17, 19, 21. That'll be up, down, up, right? On the B string, go 19, 20, 22. And the same thing on the E. And then downstroke the 22, bend, vibrato. Remember, Jake had that big swoopy vibrato. Wait, I lost it. That was 16, 17, 19. Yeah. Okay, so that's it for that one. The next one, and this is where I was starting to watch some of Jake's stuff, and I remembered the Ultimate Sin tour. He did something like this. I don't know if it was in Suicide Solution, but it's a tapping thing. Really cool tapping melody. Now this has kind of a 3 count through a chunk of it, and then I threw in a 4 count at the end. We'll talk about that in a second. But basically, and you could tap Jason index or middle, it doesn't matter. You can even use the pick if you wanted. But what we're going to do is tap, I mean, most of the movement's coming off the tap hand here, as far as fret movement. And we're going to end up going, let me see, hold on. And then it's going to go to a 4 count thing in a second, and then I'll explain that. So, similar to some of the other examples today is, once you get the first little subgroup, the concept's the same, but the notes change. So we're going to tap the 17 on the high E. I like to grab around the neck, thumbs up here, and I got these fingers here to stabilize it. 12, 15 on the high E with this hand. Our tap note is starting on 17, and then it's going to transfer to 19. But we're going to go tap 17, pull to 12, hammer to 15. Same thing, but tap 19 now. Pull to 12, hammer 15. So it's, now here's what I mean by 3 count. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Or you can count triplets if you want. Triplet. Either way, it's a 3 count in my mind. You're going to do that 3 times. Okay, then the 4 count. Actually, no, this is still 3 count. The 4 is going to be way at the end. We're just going to change our tap note. 20E, 12, 15 with this hand, just like the ending of the other part. Same thing, but go to 19 for our tap. Same thing, but 15 or 17 for the tap. So, and the same thing, but 19 for the tap. 17 for the tap. 19 for the tap. So those are still triplets or 3 counts. So don't really, I guess we can't leave these fingers down here. You can be, you have to drag them, but my thumb kind of just moves a little bit as I need to. Now, if you grasp that concept, you're ready for the rest of this. Check it out. Repeat everything note for note exactly, except instead of a 12E, it's now a 13E, which is kind of interesting because a lot of times with tapping, it's this one that's doing all the moving and changing characteristics. Actually, I shouldn't say a lot of time, maybe half the time. But we're just changing the foundation underneath of it by going to the 13E. Everything else is the same though, so watch. right? So we have and resting my upper part of my right here, my palm on these strings to keep them clean, because we got distortion. We're tapping on the neck or the body. We're gonna get them on a noise, so this will keep it clean. Now check it out. We're changing that foundation underneath again. Repeat everything you did, but this time it's going to be 14 and 15 on the high E, so you can do a finger adjustment. I go to index and middle and just repeat everything. Right? It's kind of cool. Just changing one note changes that whole sound. And then here's where the 4 count comes in.